In French, The Little Prince is the world's most translated book outside of religious works, and it's been translated into, would you believe it, 300 languages, including English, isiZulu, Afrikaans and Xhosa. Now, the book tells the story of a little boy who leaves the safety of his own tiny planet to travel the universe, learning the vagaries of adult behaviour through a series of extraordinary encounters. And known as a children's tale, it is also considered a metaphor of a grown-up meeting his inner child. And this piece of artwork is currently showcasing at the Market Theatre. And joining us for a discussion about this is Clara Vaughan, the director of the play, and Balindile Ngcobo, who is a cast member. Welcome and thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having us.
Clara, let me start with you. Translated in over 300 languages, why do you think that is? What's the appeal?
I think it's because what it addresses and what it appeals to in ourselves is sort of basic human experiences and existential questions about what it means to be alive, what it means to be a child, and what we lose in the process of becoming an adult. So it's moving for both children and adults. Children because it's a fantastical, imaginative, wonderful world in which anything is possible. And adults because it reminds them of what it feels like to be a child.
Yeah, and we all want to tap into that from time to time.
Absolutely.
But of course, it's been in existence for 75 years already.
Yes.
So as a director, how easy or how difficult is it for you to make sure that it remains relevant?
Well, our first question in starting our adaptation of the play was to ask the question of what does it mean to people in South Africa now? This Western text, this text that is 5 years old, you know, what relevance does it have now? And I think because it is about these universal human experiences, we were really able to work collaboratively with the cast and with the creative team to find our own interpretations and our own ways of understanding the book. Which, you know, part of what is so beautiful about the book is that it can be understood in so many different ways.
Balindile, you've starred in short films before, and coming to this particular piece, how do you come to it and what do you bring?
I've had the fortune of having, had contact with the book before, having read it really helps in the process of collaborating with our directors to create this amazing interpretation. So I guess what I bring is that insight, Having a film and television background only means that I have to work to adjust my scale of performance, because when you're not used to performing to large audiences, you really have to work a little bit harder, for vocal projection, for your performance to really read, especially when you're going from a book to something as magical as a play that people need to really be able to experience more than just see.
And it's something that, I think you may have been asked this before, but it's always a question, when you're acting to camera and then acting to a live audience. Yeah. I mean, when you did this for the first time, what was that experience like, and how did the audience respond to you?
Doing the play for the first time, it was extremely nerve-wracking, especially because it's such a well-known book and we want to do it justice. We want to make sure that people who have grown up with the story really come into it and feel like they have re-experienced it. So it was really a fascinating experience as well, just looking into what our own experiences of finding our inner children, were. It was eye-opening, it was fantastical and very exhausting as well, I have to admit. Physical theatre is a lot and it's a great challenge, though. It grows you as an actor.
And also, Clara, just the culture of actually going to the theatre and watching plays. Do you find that is improving in South Africa at the moment?
I'm not sure if it's improving, but certainly there is, I think, a vibrant theatre community, and certain plays feel like they really capture the public's imagination for whatever reason, and those plays have a huge following and people watching, sometimes repeatedly, sometimes over and over again. So I think it is still sometimes difficult to get people to come out to the theatre. There's so many competing entertainments and options for people to absorb story and to absorb experiences, but there is also something so unique about live performance, about watching actors, as Bali was saying, in the moment, telling the story to you in an experience that can never be repeated again.
But don't you think there's something to be said for actually exposing people more? Because it's only once they have experienced that they really get a sense of what it means. So do you think, Bali, more could be done in that regard, and how?
Absolutely. I'm not sure on the how, but I definitely agree with you. I had people who came to see the show, you know, my own relatives say to me, I've never been to the theatre, but now that I've seen what it's about, I'd love to, you know, become a regular person who goes and attends the theatre. And I think maybe that's what it's about, just exposing more people to the experience of live entertainment. I mean, people will go out to watch football and watch live music, so it's not that far from what we already are doing. It's just about kind of shifting what we consider to be entertainment and what we consider to be accessible to us, and just exposing more people to it.
Well, here's a moment. You have millions of people watching. You know, here's a moment. Why should someone who's never been to the theatre, who is in Joburg, has nothing really lined up for the weekend, sell it to them, Clara? Why should they go and watch The Little Prince?
You should go and watch The Little Prince because it is an experience that you will never have had before. You will be immersed in a world where anything is possible. You will be reminded of the things that you believed when you were a child. And it's a delightful experience that offers you an affirmation of your imagination and your creative power.
Well, Bali, why should I come and watch you?
Well, an amazing performer, I guess, and a really beautiful work. And we have a great team as well. We have an amazing cast. It's magical. Everything she said, louder.
And both of you absolutely right. I think it is that exposure that actually changes one's whole perception on theatre and the arts in general. Yeah. So how long is this running for?
It's on until the 25th of November.
Until the 25th. So you don't have much time to go and watch it. But if people want to go and watch, how do they go about it?
They can get online and book through the Market Theatre website, which is www.markettheatre.co.za. It's through web tickets also. You can get a ticket or you can buy a ticket at the door. And maybe to mention, tomorrow, if you've been wondering what to do with your weekend, we have a family day, which means that if an adult buys a ticket, they can bring 2 children with them for free.
There you go. In these tough economic times, there's an incentive for you. Thank you so much to Clara Vaughan, the director of the play, and also Balindile Ngcobo, who's a cast member, talking to us about The Little Prince, a theatre piece currently showcasing at the Market Theatre. And of course, you can go out, as you heard, the incentive there. And of course, I think I'll be going, or at least I'll send my daughter. But let's go to a break. On the other side,